Welcome back, Rebels, to Studio G. I'm Richard Pedzik.
And I'm Mia Nakamura. Thank you for joining us.
Today, we'll be covering international news, chat about local events, and we are privileged to have the president of UNLV, Dr. Keith E. Whitfield, in studio with us.
That's right. We have all that and more coming up.
Welcome back. We start with news that has shocked the world.
Over the weekend, the nation was stunned as a tragic event involving actor Alec Baldwin on a film set took place. CNN reporter Nick Watts reports.
We've had two people accidentally shot on a movie set by a prop gun. We need help immediately.
This is the set. The director, Joel Souza, was injured. The director of photography, Halyna Hutchins, was killed. Two individuals were shot on the set of Rust, according to the Santa Fe, New Mexico Sheriff's Office, when a prop firearm was discharged by Alec Baldwin. Baldwin distraught in the sheriff's parking lot after questioning. The investigation remains open and active. No charges have been filed. A prop firearm should shoot only blanks.
With a blank round, you have everything that you would normally have in a real round, but you don't have the bullet on the end of it. So that when it fires, you do get the flash, you do get the bang, you get the recoil, you get the explosion, but you don't get the bullet flying out the end of the gun. Now, that doesn't mean that blank rounds are safe.
Hutchins posted this video the day before she died, horse riding on a day off. One of the perks of shooting a Western, she wrote. Born in Ukraine, Hutchins started out as a journalist, then moved to the US to study and work in the movies. Named a rising star in 2019 by American Cinematographer magazine. She was 42.
She kind of brought that eye that she had from documentaries and nonfiction filmmaking to, again, action movies and horror movies. So they had this sort of immediacy and realism, as well as this eye for beauty that she had. And it was a really unique look.
A death on set like this, rare but not unique. Brandon Lee was shot and killed on the set of The Crow in '93. A blank was fired but dislodged part of a live round stuck in the barrel. In '84, on the set of the show Cover Up, actor John Eric Hexum jokingly put a prop gun to his head and pulled the trigger. The pressure and wadding from the blank killed him. Rust, starring and produced by Baldwin, hinges on the accidental killing of a rancher in 1880s Kansas. This morning, Baldwin tweeted, "There are no words to convey my shock and sadness. I'm fully cooperating with the police investigation to address how this tragedy occurred. My heart is broken for her husband, their son, and all who knew and loved Halyna."
Brandon Lee's family issued their condolences to Hutchinson's family. The history of prop gun incidences and recent occurrences have called for an evaluation on the actual safety of prop guns in the film industry. Juan Rios, a spokesperson for the sheriff's office, said the investigation remains active and ongoing.
Moving on to international news, over 2,000 Central American migrants, mainly from Honduras, El Salvador, and Haiti, have been waiting in the southern city of Tapachula for refugee and asylum papers that will possibly allow them to travel, but delays in the process have ensued.
As a result, this past Saturday, a new migrant caravan that includes families and young children are walking to Mexico City in the hopes of reaching the U.S. border in order to gain entry.
Nearly 400 officers at a highway checkpoint in Tapachula attempted to block their path, but many migrants managed to break past. In South Korea, nearly 70% of its 52 million population have been fully vaccinated and plans to return to normal in November.
Despite global shortages of COVID-19 vaccines, South Korea quickly ramped up thanks to the expanded supplies and high public acceptance, surpassing the United States and other countries.
Meanwhile, the investigation into COVID-19 vaccines for children could come to an end. Today, the FDA will decide whether to approve giving the COVID-19 vaccine to children ages 5 to 11.
This decision comes after Pfizer published the findings in a clinical trial showing that the vaccine had a 90.7% efficacy rate in preventing COVID-19 symptoms. 28 million children could become eligible for shots in the first week of November. Two students had an idea that turned into a successful reality. Reporter Justine Versteege has more.
The creators of the De Jure Ain't De Facto podcast, Joanna Ontiveros and Kessler Cervantes, are seeing a huge popularity boom in their listeners. Joanna remembers the day when the two created the podcast.
Our conversations tend to relate a lot to history and law, and then one day we're like, you know what, we're kind of funny. Let's just try it out. Why not?
When these partners created the podcast, they were not influenced from the podcasts that already existed in the market. They did what they wanted to do, but they wanted to appeal to an older audience.
I try to make it fun. I try to make it kind of like adult humor too, just to appeal to more people, just because, you know, it's generally older people that do listen to podcasts. So just sharing my passion with other people and making it fun and all that is really what inspired me to start it.
When the two released their first episode, they had some doubts about their potential success. In fact, they were scared to look at the number of listeners.
If I'm being honest, when we published our first episode, I didn't think anyone would listen to it. And then it wasn't until we got a couple Instagram DMs and stuff like that people were actually listening to it, my bad. And we were like, wait, what?
When Joanna and Kessler realized the success of their podcast, they broke their episodes into seasons to ensure that they were giving their best efforts into their work, and so that they can plan exciting things coming up.
This season it got a little bit hard just because things just got a little weird during that break period, so we are planning to do more things the next season. But you'd have to stick around to find out what those would be. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to make any promises, but yeah.
The De Jure Ain't De Facto podcast can be found on Apple Podcast or Spotify, or you can go to the website dejureinktdefactopodcast.squarespace.com. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Justine Versteege.
Now moving on to local events here. One of the biggest festivals, EDC, happened this past weekend at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Many fans of EDM from all around the world came out to celebrate the 25th anniversary of this festival.
This EDC included many top names like DJs like the Chainsmokers, Martin Garrix, Diplo, Tiesto, and more. Besides just the music, the festival included many carnival-type rides like the Ferris wheel, roller coaster, drop tower, bumper cars, and more.
EDC makes sure that the decor is always up to standards of the festival goers. With many lights, decorations, and fireworks, EDC is sure of an experience that is worth trying.
So did you go to EDC this year?
You know, I didn't go to EDC this year, and I've actually only been to one or two concerts my entire life, but I can understand the taste for EDM music. How about you?
You know, I didn't go to EDC this year, but it looked like a lot of fun, and I really want to go next year.
All right. When we come back, we will interview President Whitfield. We'll be back right after this.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
Third line, please.
DEPRESSION.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale. Bipolar? Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own.
Anxiety. I thought so.
Like many health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. And the sooner you seek treatment, the better.
Look at that. 6,000 steps and PTSD.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Today in studio, we are honored to have UNLV President Keith Whitfield with us today. Thank you so much for being here today.
Very good to be here. Thank you.
And I know this semester is the first semester in person. So what is it like really seeing the students for the first time?
You're touching on one of the most important things to me, which is to see the massive people, you know, and PETA and just across it. Because we're a brick and mortar sort of campus, it means something. I mean, it's important to have online courses, and that's all fine and good, and our instructors have done a miraculous job at trying to create remote, but there's nothing like being in person. It's been exciting.
And I just want to acknowledge that you are the first Black president at UNLV, and over at Nevada State College is Dr. Pollard as the first woman Black president. But why would you say it's taken this long?
That's a good question. Change in higher ed comes slow anyway. Some of it's even the timing. I mean, how did you get this guy? I mean, actually, people see what I've done in the past, which I was at Duke University. You would think UNLV would never want to have anybody from Duke University here. So it's that confluence of forces, my training experience, and just almost like, to me, it was meant to be. I wouldn't have been ready to be the president 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I was really ready to take on that challenge at this point in time. And so with all of the other things that we can think of relative to things in terms of social change and all of that, those are the things that they are, but different universities are ready at different points in time. I think we were ready for me, and I happen to be an African-American man.
I see. And do you think your previous leadership roles, like at Duke and your previous schools, have really helped you train for the diversity here at UNLV?
Not only trained for it, but it's what drew me to it. The last university I was at, which was Wayne State University, was one that interestingly was a very diverse university, but a different kind of diversity. We actually had, because Detroit actually has the largest Arab American community outside of the Arab Emirates and all of those areas. And so we had a different sort of diversity. But I think putting that together with student success, because I think of myself as a student success person, and it's not to badmouth Duke just because I'm trying to play to the audience about, our history that's there. But one of the things at Duke that, was cool, but it wasn't helpful for me was that, we graduated like 95% of the students. I mean, they were just a different student population. And what I wanted to do is to help people that really wanted to get that education, but had limits in terms of finances, had limits in terms of previous experience, all of those other sorts of things, and to even highlight to them that those are actually strengths and not weaknesses. And at a Duke, that kind of person's not needed. Here and at Wayne State it was, and we almost doubled the graduation rate. And I think that that's needed here. And so I feel like the fit is really good. But it was, that diversity actually was the attraction. And it's the attraction in part, not just because of the numbers or the purpose, but that I believe that diversity actually creates a better learning environment. When you can talk to somebody who's from different, like I was born in Japan, did you know that?
Wow.
Yeah, so you can talk to somebody who was born in Japan. I don't remember anything about Japan, but you get different perspectives on people, and that helps you to grow. It makes you a better learner. It makes you think about things a little bit different. And in the world we live in today, which, you may want to get a job in Nevada, but you're going to have a job that probably talks to people in China and Shanghai and Taiwan and lots of other places. So you have to have that global perspective, but even more a perspective of difference, of understanding difference is very important. And I think that's one of the magic sauces that we have here.
And like Las Vegas is built on the backbone of immigrants. And I just want to speak to you about, have you been leading any initiatives serving minorities and kind of speaking to the diversity at UNLV?
So we have lots of those going on. I was thrown off because I thought, have I done some? So I've done some. I sit on a couple of national committees that are about, there's a task force on minority aging for the National Institutes on Aging, a couple of others that are for the development of diverse faculty. And then here, what's interesting is that we're not only a minority serving institution, but we're an HSI, we're a Hispanic serving institution. And we have been invited, I've been working with the president at the University of Illinois Chicago at how HSIs that are research ones can help to produce more Hispanic faculty to hopefully go into academia, so that we have more Hispanic professors in front of our students, and so we diversify the faculty. So that's just some of them.
And I just want to ask you, because the campus is so diverse, it's in the heart of, near the Strip. So what is your favorite place to eat around here? Oh my gosh, my favorite place to eat around here. I feel like, I should get a discount when I say this, but Gordon Bierschbach's or whatever, the little place. Partly because it's close, but I feel like I've gone there enough times now where people that work there are saying, oh, hi.
they don't even know who I am, but they're like, oh, hi, I've seen you here 100 times, and I always get the beer battered fish and chips, and so I have my favorite there.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Again, thank you so much for coming on.
Very good to be here. Thank you for having me.
And today, when we come right back, we'll go to Richard Pedzik with the weather.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Welcome back, and I'm here to deliver your weather forecast. So you can see here today we have an average of 70, it's sunny skies, and if we look throughout the week, we're actually going to be coming out of these warm temperatures, and as you know, over this past summer we actually tied the highest at McCarran Airport, so you can start breaking out those coats. I can't guarantee that you're going to break a sweat, but you definitely going to feel chilly, so break out those coats. We can see today we have that 70 with lows of 52 probably in the morning and at the night. And Wednesday, we're going to be actually going up throughout the week, so I think it's because it's a little bit windy today outside. But we have clear skies, no clouds except for on Saturday, and it's going to be a great weekend for Halloween, so that's all I have. Back to you at the desk.
UNLV film students are competing in a nationwide Coca-Cola film contest. Reporter Simone Randall has more.
Tons of students are working hard to get their scripts submitted for the Coca-Cola Refreshing Filmmaker Award that is taking place right now.
Or in your team,
it's only a max of 2 people. You have a writer and a producer. So basically, you have a main producer person and like somebody else who can either be like a director of photography, a writer, just a general director. There's a bunch of different roles that they can fill. It's not just like one main person, and it's really cool. It's only a 2-person max, but you can like work on multiple teams and write multiple scripts. So you have multiple chances to win this.
How many scripts have you written so far?
I've written around like 5 for this contest. I think I'm probably only going to submit like 2 or 3, but I think I'm going to write more. I still have until October 22nd to submit, so
couple more days,
and I won't hear results for a while, but it'll be cool just to enter since I've never like done something like this.
UNLV students will be competing with other partnered schools all across the nation, but they all have one thing on their mind.
Yeah, I want to win. I'm not trying to lose. I want to win.
All right. What are you going to do if you win? Once you find out if you win?
I'm going to make a commercial with Coca-Cola, and that'd be sick.
4 finalists will be selected and will be given an $18,000 budget to shoot their short film. The winner will screen nationwide at all AMC and Cinemark theaters across the country. So let's wish all our fellow Rebs good luck. I'm Simone, signing out for Studio G.
Moving on to our sports recap. The Las Vegas Raiders defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 22-33. The team now has 2 victories under head coach Rich. They are tied with the best record in the AFC with 5 wins and 2 losses.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights lost to the New York Islanders 2-0 on Sunday night. Sorokin made 42 saves to give the Islanders a breath of relief. The Knights will go on to play the Colorado Avalanche today at 5 p.m.
Before we go, just a reminder that there are only 4 days for the 50K drive held by UNLV's radio station. So far, nearly $25,000 have been raised. Tomorrow, we will have operation managers Jason Betley to talk more about this exciting drive. Also, today is National Pumpkin Day.
Yeah, I know. Did you get your pumpkin yet?
Not yet. I'm going to go to Smith's right after this.
I got mine.
Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Mia Nakamura.
And I'm Richard Pedzik. See you next time.